Welcome to back my channel Coin Worth Million. This channel is a special place where every video brings you new knowledge, entertainment, and exciting experiences. Here Coins Worth you will find informative content, engaging stories, and everything that sparks your curiosity. Our goal is to make every moment enjoyable, help you learn something new, and be a part of this growing family. So join us and start this wonderful journey today. The 1969 United Kingdom 10 new pence coin, bearing the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, stands as an important example of Britain's early decimal coinage transition, a period when the country was preparing to shift from the centuries-old pound SD system pounds, shillings, pence to the modern decimal system introduced officially in 1971. Although the full transition occurred 2 years later, the production of the 10 new pence coin in 1968 and 1969 was a deliberate step to familiarize the public with the new currency system before complete rollout. The 10 new pence was equivalent to 1/10 of a pound or 2 old shillings, so it aligned conveniently with the older system and allowed easy public adoption. Because of this, the coin also became a bridge between two monetary eras, one deeply rooted in centuries of tradition and one embracing modern simplicity and global compatibility. The 1969 10 new pence coin is therefore more than a piece of metal. It is a miniature historical document reflecting economic planning, national identity, technological change, and the monarchy's symbolic continuity during a transformative era. The obverse front of the 1969 10 new pence features the first decimal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, engraved by Arnold Machin, one of the most influential British sculptors of the 20th century. Machin's portrait was widely admired for its elegance, capturing the Queen with a serene, dignified expression. She is depicted wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her signature diadems. The portrait style was intentionally modern, clean, and symbolic of a Commonwealth entering new decades of progress. Surrounding the portrait appears the Latin legend, Elizabeth II D bullet operator G bullet operator REG bullet operator F bullet operator D bullet operator 1969. Meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This traditional inscription appears on all British coinage and reaffirms the monarchy's role at the center of national identity, continuity, and constitutional leadership. The spacing, clarity, and balance of the obverse design became a standard for decimal coins for many years to follow and was used not only in Britain's circulating coinage but also on stamps, medals, and international issues. On the reverse side, the coin displays the iconic crowned lion, a powerful heraldic symbol that has represented England for centuries. The design was created by Christopher Ironside, whose artistry shaped the look of nearly all early decimal coins. The lion, standing upright with a fierce yet noble posture, symbolizes strength, courage, and national unity. Above the lion appears the denomination, new pence, and below, the number, 10, is inscribed in bold, clear, modern numerals. The word new was used temporarily on decimal coins from 1968 to 1981 to avoid confusion with previous pre-decimal denominations. The imagery of the lion, combined with the crisp, geometric lettering, communicates both heritage and modernization, reflecting the United Kingdom's effort to balance tradition with progress. The artwork became so recognizable that the lion motif remained associated with British decimal coinage for many decades, even after later design changes. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1969 10 new pence coin was much larger than today's 10 pence coin. It measured 28.5 mm in diameter and had a weight of 11.31 grams, making it one of the heavier circulating coins of its time. It was struck in cupronickel, a durable alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, chosen for its resistance to wear, corrosion, and tarnish. The coin featured a milled reeded edge, which served both aesthetic and practical purposes. It made the coin easier to handle and prevented illegal trimming of metal, a common issue in earlier centuries. The size and weight were intentionally chosen to match the old 2-shilling coin, enabling effortless public acceptance. This means that although the coin was marked 10 new pence, it was already familiar in the hand of anyone accustomed to the earlier British currency. The historical context of the 1969 issue is deeply intertwined with the massive decimalisation project, one of the largest monetary reforms in British history. In the 1960s, economic modernisation became essential as Britain strengthened trade relations with Europe and the Commonwealth. The old system, with 12 pennies in a shilling and 20 shillings in a pound, was mathematically complicated and incompatible with the decimal systems used by most major economies worldwide. The government planned decimalisation throughout the decade, and by producing coins like the 10 new pence in advance, they allowed British society, banks, businesses, schools, households, to gradually familiarise themselves with new values. Therefore, the 1969 coin was circulated as part of a multi-year educational effort, even though full decimalisation would not occur until Decimal Day, the 15th of February 1971. The mintage of the 1969 10 new pence was significantly lower than the initial 1968 issue, but still substantial enough for distribution throughout the UK and parts of the Commonwealth. Many of these coins survived in good condition due to the robust cupronickel alloy and the fact that some people saved them out of curiosity for the upcoming decimal system. After 1992, however, the UK reduced the size of the 10 pence coin, making the older large versions obsolete. As a result, nearly all large 10 new pence coins, including 1969 pieces, were withdrawn from circulation and eventually demonetized. This means they are no longer legal tender in the UK, which adds a sense of historical completion to their story. They served their purpose as transitional currency and then became collectible relics of a major national reform. From a numismatic perspective, the 1969 10 new pence remains interesting not because of rarity, most are common, but because of what the coin represents historically. Collectors value coins like this for their place in the decimalisation timeline, their artistic design by famous engravers, and their connection to Queen Elizabeth II during her early reign. A circulated example is usually inexpensive, but coins in mint state, especially those from special sets, retain higher value. Condition grading depends on luster, sharpness of the lion's details, clarity of the Queen's portrait, and absence of scratches. Collectors also note the historical curiosity that, although the coin says, new pence, later redesigns from 1982 onward replaced this with simply, 10 pence. This subtle difference makes early issues like the 1969 coin particularly attractive for collectors of complete decimal series. Even though modern British coinage has evolved greatly, with newer portraits of the Queen, new designs, smaller sizes, and different alloys, the 1969 10 new pence coin remains an important symbol of a nation in transition. It reflects Archbishop Machin's vision of the young Queen, Ironside's classical heraldic interpretation, and the government's ambitious monetary modernization. In the hand, the coin feels solid, finely crafted, and unmistakably British. In collections, it stands as a reminder of how currency serves not only as economic tools but also as cultural artifacts that preserve stories across generations. The coin's longevity, its robust material, and the nostalgia associated with the early decimal era all contribute to its continuing popularity among both casual collectors and dedicated historians. Next coin. The 1970 United Kingdom 10 new pence coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II holds a uniquely important place in British numismatic history because it represents the final stage of pre-decimal era preparations for decimalisation, which officially occurred on the 15th of February 1971, known as Decimal Day, and because the 1970 10 new pence was never released into everyday circulation but instead minted exclusively for collectors in specially prepared, last pound SD, proof sets, making the 1970 issues simultaneously common in availability yet special in origin. This unusual status gives the coin a distinctive historical character that separates it from the 1968 and 1969 circulating releases. The coin embodies a moment when Britain stood at the threshold of a major economic transformation, transitioning from the centuries-old, mathematically complicated pound SD system, comprising pounds, shillings, and pence, toward a modern decimal currency aligned with global standards, and the 1970 10 new pence served as a final symbolic bridge before the old system vanished permanently. Although it carries the inscription, new pence, and the denomination, 10, the coin technically belonged to the pre-decimal chapter of British monetary history, not because it used old values, but because it was minted before the official decimal launch, and thus the 1970 issue was included solely in proof sets commemorating the end of the old currency era. Its purpose was twofold: to celebrate a historic transition and to preserve, in pristine form, the early designs that would introduce Britons to the new decimal world. The obverse of the coin features the famous Arnold Machin portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a refined and elegant depiction that shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a jewel deeply associated with her youthful reign. This portrait, introduced in the late 1960s, became one of the most recognizable images of the Queen and was used across British and Commonwealth coinage for decades. Machin's portrayal emphasizes grace, continuity, and national stability at a time when Britain was experiencing economic modernization, social change, and deep restructuring of its currency system. Surrounding the portrait is the traditional Latin inscription, Elizabeth II D bullet operator G bullet operator REG bullet operator F bullet operator D 1970, an abbreviation for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith, a formula that links the monarchy to centuries of English constitutional tradition. The spacing and lettering are crisp and sharply defined, especially because proof coins receive special polishing, striking pressure, and dye preparation to produce mirror-like surfaces and frosted details, making the Queen's portrait appear almost sculptural in depth and beauty compared to circulation strikes. The reverse of the 1970 10 new pence displays the iconic crowned British lion, designed by noted engraver Christopher Ironside, whose work shaped the visual identity of Britain's earliest decimal coins. The standing lion, powerful and dignified, symbolizes the monarchy, English heraldry, and Britain's national strength. It is crowned to denote royal authority, and its bold, upright posture communicates resilience and continuity. Above the lion, the denomination, new pence, appears in a modern, clean typeface, fully aligned with the government's goal of presenting a fresh, forward-looking currency system that was simpler and more logical than the centuries-old denominations it was replacing. Beneath the lion, the large number, 10, appears, printed in a strong, geometric style that was designed to be instantly readable and mathematically clear, fitting for a system built on 10s instead of 12s. Every element of the reverse design was intentional: the lion to connect to tradition, the typeface to symbolize modernity, and the layout to teach the public how the new system would appear visually. From a physical standpoint, the 1970 10 new pence is identical in size, metal, and weight to the 1968 and 1969 circulating issues. It measures 28.5 mm in diameter, weighs 11.31 grams, and is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel cupronickel, a durable alloy chosen for its resistance to corrosion, wear, and fading. The coin has a milled, reeded edge, a characteristic inherited from centuries of British coinage, originally used as a security feature to prevent clipping of precious metal but maintained in modern times for tactile familiarity and design tradition. Although the coin shares these physical attributes with circulation types, The 1970 edition stands apart because its proof finish includes mirror-like fields and frosted designs created through repeated die polishing and controlled striking pressure. Every 1970 10 new pence coin was struck with extraordinary care, meaning that the details of the lion's mane, the contours of the queen's facial features, and the sharpness of the lettering appear much more refined than those of everyday circulating coins. Historically, the 1970 issue reflects a fascinating economic moment. The UK was deep into preparations for Decimal Day, with banks, shops, government departments, schools, factories, and transportation networks all modernizing their financial systems. Old coins like the shilling, florin, and halfpenny were soon to disappear, and the new coins, including the 10 new pence, would define the future of British commerce. The government-issued 1970, last pound SD, proof sets to commemorate the final year before decimalisation eliminated the 1 shilling and 2 shilling denominations forever. The 10 new pence coin was included because it corresponded directly to the old 2 shilling coin, making it a symbolic representative of continuity. While the name and numbering changed, the value 2 shillings equals 10p remained the same. As a result, the 10 new pence was more than just a new coin, it was the representation of a bridge between the old and new systems, demonstrating to the public that decimalisation did not erase the value of existing money but simply reorganized it into a more logical structure. Because the 1970 10 new pence was never circulated, its entire population exists in higher quality than most ordinary coins. This has significant numismatic implications. Although not rare, the 1970 proof version is appreciated because it is always found in attractive condition, often with strong cameo contrast, frosted devices against mirrored fields. Collectors value it not for scarcity but for what it represents historically, the end of the pound SD era and the beginning of the biggest monetary reform in modern British history. Its market value depends on condition, and continuous contact with packaging, dust, or improper storage can reduce cameo effects, so pristine examples carry higher desirability. When the UK shrank the size of the 10p coin in 1992, the older large format coins were eventually demonetized, which removed them permanently from circulation and further cemented their identity as historical artifacts rather than functional money. Thus, the 1970 10 new pence coin stands today as a compact, beautifully crafted, and symbolically rich artifact of British history, a coin struck not for buying goods but for preserving a moment of profound national change. Its artistic details honor heraldic tradition, its obverse celebrates the youthful strength of Queen Elizabeth II, its reverse symbolizes unity and royal authority, its composition reflects durable modern metallurgy, and its proof-only release in 1970 permanently associates it with the closing chapter of the old British monetary system. Collectors, historians, and enthusiasts continue to value this coin for its aesthetic beauty, its historical significance, and its unique status as the last pre-decimal era 10 new pence issue, a coin that connects Britain's ancient currency traditions with its modern decimal world in one elegant, brilliant piece of metal.